All right. Well, either way, if there's more questions, I'll read them out. But either way, it is now lunch break, which means we have an hour, right? For 55 minutes for us to take a break. Everyone who has a microphone, now is your chance to just unmute yourself and just talk about whatever you want. That's always what happens. People
Lunch
who are,
party.
in chat, go ahead, chat. You can ask questions, and people who are speaking can monitor and just like interact with the audience.
Should you is the question.
Oh, wow, we're already at the break.
Yeah.
I know, I'm so excited.
We are 2 hours into this already.
What? No.
Yeah. It just blew by.
We
So
are. Yes.
this is like our big break. Get a snack, get drinks, have fun.
I should make dinner probably.
Oh, yeah. Food. Crap. I didn't plan.
Yeah, I was like frantically between juggling the kid, like on my phone trying to order food.
Can't cope with food.
Who wants pizza rolls? Yes.
What?
Yes, pizza rolls for everyone. I'm making
pizza
promises
rolls.
I can't fulfill.
Get me the pizza rolls, please. Provide me with pizza rolls. I hope I didn't scream too much at you all. I'm sorry.
I was more worried for you.
Yeah.
I expected to get mad. Like that was within the expectations. Like that was accounted for. I just got a little bit more than I expected to. Like I played it off well, I think, but it just went a little bit farther than I thought it would. You know, bit farther.
That's fine. Passion's good.
No, it's not. No, passion fucking sucks. Passion is a lie, okay? That if anyone fucking tells you work for passion, that's fucking bullshit. Don't listen to
work
them.
for passion,
Passion
but
is
it's good to be
fucking bullshit.
passionate.
No, yeah. I'm not actually mad at you. That's not you.
I hope you
I'm
own
mad at-
stock in a throat lozenge company.
I am not mad at you. It's not you. It's the concept of passion. That's bullshit.
I just really enjoy that I said passion's good in the most tired voice I could manage. And the response was, passion is bullshit.
It's like it sets me off. I think the same thing happened last year. Exactly the same thing happened last year, actually.
I think it's nice if you like what you do.
It's nice. Like I love my shit. I've been working on a game about some hot deer for 5 years now. I know everything about passion. I know all of it. But like, if anyone tries to convince you that you are doing things for passion, you tell them, fuck off. I'm doing things for money. I want to buy food. Feed me, bitch. You tell them that, right? Because
the entire crux of my presentation is do less. So yeah.
Hell yeah. Let's go.
I mean, I kind of feel the opposite in some ways. Like there's a lot of games where I just have to admit, like, money is not a concern at all. It really can't be, because otherwise I wouldn't make something so weird and unpalatable.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you're doing it for yourself, then that's the thing, right? Like it's a difference. If you're doing it for another person, then that is the thing, right? Like well, here, let's go into story mode. Yay.
Story.
We're getting a story time.
I literally starved for a whole year. I dropped down to 38 kilograms. That's 76 pounds when I was 18 years old, because I could not afford food. And that was because I was being told, like, yeah, you're working for passion, you know, like you're so young, you know, you're working for passion in comics. Yeah, oh my God, I can't afford to pay you right now, but you know, like you're doing it for passion. Yeah. And, you know, I figured out like 2 years later, someone tells me like, oh, you're working with this person. So how is he scamming you? And I'm like, what do you mean scamming me? And then he's like, yeah, you know, like this guy scams everyone. I'm like, what?
You.
And that's my villain story origin. I made him pay like at $15 per page. That was $5 per hour.
Oh, yikes.
he ended up owing me 3,000 euros.
Ugh.
So I made him pay every single cent back.
Comics are like the worst for that. I had a friend who was working in the comics industry like in her early 20s, and it took her like a few months to realize a whole bunch of her clients like really weren't even using her stuff. It was all just like trying to get like her phone number and stuff.
Ugh.
Super gross.
Yeah, it's super, like there were a lot of super gross things. Like I made a lot of friends, like I was very lucky. I was working for DC Comics by 19 years old. But I was very, very lucky. I was in the right time, talking to the right people at the right time, right? But that's the thing, right? I I fucked up my wrist permanently by 21 years old. Because I was like, I have to work all the time and I have to do all the things or else I'm worthless. Yeah, I have to work. Woo, yeah, that's my thing. I work hard and I work fast. And
Oh, the hustle is
fucked-
such a lie.
and now I'm like, well, I will work for you. You have to pay me a bunch of money and you will respect my hours and you will get a fucking amazing product from me that, you will do it on my terms, bitch. And I get that not everyone gets to do that. As you start, you don't get that kind of privilege. You don't get that kind of confidence to do that. But I wish you all in your careers
My first freelance work out of college, it was for a tech startup guy in San Francisco where he's like, I want to make interactive kids books for the iPad. So I did not know how to animate any of this stuff. And he's like, don't worry about it. Just do the illustrations. We'll send it to the programmers. And even at the time, I'm like, I think we still
dear.
need an animator.
Oh dear.
Well, no, here's the thing. It turned out crap. These were awful books, but I was getting paid for months, like good money, like not great money, but good money to do all these illustrations of like little kitties, Robin Hood. And it was all stuff where like I ended up having to learn eventually where it's like, if these things need to animate, I need to know how to set them up. I need to know why they need to be set up in certain ways. So I really lucked out that my first job, unlike yours, Maxie, it paid okay. And I learned like a lot doing it. So
yeah, like it's all about there's a 50% lack factor into whatever you do. Like you may get someone who knows you can get this character from Arrested Development, like it's a banana, Michael, what is it, like $10? You can get that too, like you can get someone who knows nothing about art and gives you forever money. It's a possibility too, right? But most people get the opposite where it's like, oh, it's art, what is it, like 50 cents? I'm like, what? No. But people are so desperate to get their first big break that they will take it. And I can't judge them because like I was starving. When I started out, I was working as an English tutor. I was working as a book colorist. I was giving talks. I was teaching how to draw comics. I was in talks of teaching chess to kids in order to get some more money on the side. I was literally doing anything I could. I was a model. I was doing all the things I could just to get some money, to not starve some more.
you said you were 18 when you started?
Yeah, so I was 17, in fact.
Oh shit! All right.
So my first big thing was when I was 18. It was Game of Thrones, and I was getting paid peanuts in Game of Thrones. So. Like it's not even about brand recognition, because like you can get a big job and they're just hiring you because you were available and you weren't getting paid much.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I worked in Game of Thrones. It looked like shit. Like it's what it is.
Yeah, that's my day job right now. I'm making mobile games for all these like really big brands. So like I can say like, yeah, I've worked at Sesame Street, Late Night with Jimmy Fallon, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Korra, all these different things, but I'm just doing like very like small person work. Like this isn't portfolio stuff. This is like I'm recontextualizing assets that they have to work in a different area.
Yeah, like for me, my day job right now is I do creative direction for a German company In fact, my boss is watching right now. Hi, boss. And like that's a fulfilling job for me. Like I get to right now. I feel happier than I felt when I was doing stuff for comics. With comics, there came a certain recognition. I was getting invited to cons. People were paying for my food. Oh my god, right? But I feel happy doing this kind of stuff. I feel happy doing game dev. I just see so much bullshit people go through in order to do game dev under the pretense of passion that it makes me so mad.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean
No,
to set you
no,
off.
no,
I just think it's
you-
cool that you care.
You,
You
you,
know?
do not make me mad. Like you do not make me mad. It's just I was just using your bringing it up in order to further my agenda.
I think it's
I
cool when people care, especially because the longer you're in the industry, the harder it is to keep caring.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think something really sad about all of this is like you are supposed to work for patients, and the slightest thing that goes wrong in your game, like a player that feels that this part was not as polished, you just suddenly lack of patience for your own project. I got I've I've seen many reviews like that, like how the game developer doesn't look like he cares about his project because this of this. And when I see everyone working in it, just crushing hard to get things done, it just pissed me off so much.
I did almost do a violence on someone who said a video game clearly had lazy devs. And
Yeah,
I was like,
the lazy game.
someone hold me back.
It's like
I actually do a thing. Like every time I go to a con and someone walks behind me and goes, furries, I turn around and say, you what? You drag your ass back here and sit down and play my fucking game right now. and I drag them back and I make them sit down and play. And they do. And I make them play until they go like, is it good? Yeah, okay, yeah, it's fun. Cool. Yeah, okay, what were you saying? Yeah, I'm sorry. Cool. Okay, you can leave now. Fuck. I have a fame. It's not a good fame, but it works.
oh good.
Just remember when the one of the animators on what is it, Guardian Spice, that Crunchyroll thing that came out, that original thing, they were just talking about like, yeah, there was not a really great budget. We're working on like the sort of budget that like CN Cartoon Network has for like their 11-minute cartoons. That was for every like half-hour episode, so we really didn't have the money to do a lot of this stuff. So people are calling us out on like being lazy or like reusing stuff, and it's like, well, we only had so much to work with, and that includes the writing. And just people are piling on them, and the whole time it's just like, oh yeah, a whole bunch of people just don't work on creative stuff because they would know like why certain stuff wasn't working out in certain ways.
Yeah.
I actually think reusing assets are just clever. Like,
Yeah.
I don't get when people saying, "Oh no, this asset was pre-made," or "No, this asset was reused." Like, no, if it's well done and if it's have meanings, I actually just think it's really clever. Like, don't work for nothing. The more I use a background, the more I am happy with it because I think I don't buy it for nothing.
Yeah, I mean, anime does it. There are some anime you watch where you're like, this background was in a different anime. I have seen this before.
Okay,
Allowed to
food
do that.
food time. I leave you
Yay.
all. Thank you very much. Oh, this talk was so interesting so far, and I can't wait to see the others.
I should probably have dinner at some point too. Instead of screaming all day mad
Goodbye,
things.
everyone.
Vimy, I love your hair. It looks great.
Thank you. I've been posting YouTube videos, and someone's like, oh, you're doing your hair all special for these videos, huh? No, this is every day.
What?
I use a stick pomade. It's great.
Ugh.
Fantastic. I wish mine looked like that.
Oh,
Like-
it's really cheap. It's like $10 gets you like a stick. It takes me like 6 months to get through it. And I have like really thick hair.
When I do my hair with like hair gel,
Hmm.
it will not live. It will
Yeah.
not live.
Don't
And
use
it's a
hair gel.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I never use hair gel. It's super gross.
Can you
I just use pomade. Yes, I will
can
send
you
it to
write
you.
it? Yeah, thank you.
I'll give you the link that I grab it from.
Thank you. Ba, ba, ba. We are here sharing how to have great hair. Fantastic hair. Wow,
Because
who's
I definitely need
talking?
that tip.
Who's saying my accent is fantastic? Thank you. I mean, you're correct, but who is it? But who is it? Who is this person? Nehemiah. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. You are in fact correct. You should hire me to voice things for you too. You know, I don't just direct. I also use my accent to do things I can hardly speak about.
Yeah, everyone's getting a link to this hair
Yes.
stuff.
Is there an After Dark visual novel panel?
I did direct one adult visual novel. I'm like, why don't people hire me to direct more adult visual novels? That was so much fun.
Ah.
So sad. It was the one, and it never got released.
Aw. I mean, I'm sitting here asking about After Dark, despite the fact that that's deeply uninteresting to me, but it should still be here, even though it's uninteresting to me.
What did you post, Vamy? Yeah, same. Like I don't play adult stuff. Or there we are. I don't play adult stuff. I just love directing it because, like, okay, story time.
Oh, no.
No names, no details, no nothing. Right? I cast someone, and even though the casting clearly said it was 18 plus and explicit, they didn't know what they were getting into. Apparently, they didn't read. And I explained it to them like, okay, so I'm casting for this client and it's explicit. And they were like, okay, so I didn't realize that, but I don't want to back out now. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We will get through this together. So cue 3 hours of horrible, painful time for them, where they were too shy, so I had to code every single noise. Every single noise I had to code. Like, they would do a noise, I would be like, can you do it more like noise? And they'd be like, noise. And I'm like, no, more like noise. And they're like, noise. And I'm like, so like that. And then like we stumble upon the line. Cat girl in heat noises. And I'm like, okay, how much cat and how much girl is there in this line? And we spent like 20 minutes like looking at it like, gotta think about this one. So yeah, no mentions. Don't worry, there will not be any mentions here. But yeah, the game was never released. I was sad. They were kind of relieved. They gave themselves the pseudonym JD for Jane Doe. They wanted to die when they figured out it was explicit.
It's fine. A lot of people work under pseudonyms for that sort of stuff. Oftentimes, people's agents tell them they have to.
Right. I don't get it, because what the fuck is it to you what I've worked on? It's like I don't get it personally. Like if it was something like I don't know, like if I've worked on porn, what is it to you?
Well, it's a lot of people, especially who have agents, do it just because if someone Googles your name and finds porn, they're not going to want to put you in there.
I get it for like, I get it for like actors, especially like real live action actors. I don't get it for voice actors so much.
I mean, for me, it's obviously a bit different because obviously it's like writing rather than just writing like reviews and such. But covering these type of games, I use a pseudonym because outside of it, I also do other stuff, and I'm guessing there are a lot of part-time voice actors as well who might do the same.
Yeah.
Like I work in local government, so I'm in very very conservative environments. You don't want to.
Yeah.
Also, some people have weird ass friends. Like if they Google it and find that you're doing it, suddenly they just keep talking to you about it, and that's weird
Yeah,
too. Like, don't talk
that's
to
Yeah,
me
yeah.
about that.
that's so weird to me because it's like I use it as a conversation. I use it as an icebreaker. Like I would meet someone and like 10 minutes into the conversation, I'm like, so yeah, I'm a voice director. You know, I directed a porn game once, and like I would use it as a story to break the ice. It's like TMI, right? But you know, like you get a sense for what kind of person I am. I don't know. It's so weird to me.
Yeah.
I mean, in this day and age where like you really need to maintain a personal brand to kind of sell yourself as, you know, a product, like there's definitely something to like maintaining a consistent brand. So, I mean, if voicing in porn games is like perfectly on par with you, great. But like maybe if you're doing like corporate gigs where it's like, this is how the non-rotating flange works, like those sorts of things, like maybe don't include, you know, your porn stuff on there.
Yep.
Unless the non-rotating
Corporations
flange
don't
is
enjoy
really
that.
like, ooh.
I guess like it is part of, you know, like whole privilege of being able to to be past the point of caring, you know. Like it keeps going back to that point of like, I don't need to care about this because it's like I can't afford to not care about this at this point, I suppose. So yeah.
Yeah.
But I wish everyone could not care about it ever. Is the point.
It would be lovely. That would be so nice if you could just do whatever project you felt like and tell people about it. That would be so good.
I mean, I definitely have a couple of game projects where I'm gonna have to make them under a pseudonym.
But you know, like for me, it's like I could not make, for example, Romancing Flesh under my own name, you know, because I would feel like, no, you know. But that's your own standard for yourself, you know. That's the thing. Like we all have our own standards of what we could live with our own mother's finding, you know. What I mean?
And even that's something where like I probably should have done that one under a different name.
No, I think that's
you have
super
that
cool.
right next to King of the Cul-de-Sac where it's like it's kids stuff, like also weird like trans gay romance.
That is kid stuff. I will fight it.
Yeah. Well, it depends on the nature of the romance.
Oh.
Romancing Flesh is kid stuff.
Oh my god. Hell. I was approaching some publishers for my visual novel, and they were like, so we have a problem. So, you know, like your visual novel, the characters look like they could fit in a kid's game, but the content, it's all like tea, right? And I'm like, well, it's a very hard tea, if you catch my drift. And that's, for example, that's a recurring problem with games with anthropomorphic characters or like furry games. It's like, yeah, my designs are they're pretty darn cute, but then I wouldn't want some kids playing my games, you know, like they're not porn, but definitely got some eyebrow raisers in there, you know. So
I see NaNoRenO in the chat. Woo!
Hell yeah, let's
I'm so
go. NaNoRenO.
excited. So excited. This is the first year I've commissioned the art in January instead of in a panic in February. So I want everyone to know I'm planning for NaNoRenO way better than I ever have before.
You might be the only one.
Get me on board.
oh.
I love directing jams. Get me on board.
For context, I mean art for the jam itself because I run the itch page, not for the game because that of course would defeat the purpose.
Yeah.
I realize I've started in January for a month-long game jam. Is there a link for NaNoWriMo? I don't have the jam page up on itch yet. Is the other page up? The one that sort of collates everything?
Space Western Story. I mean,
Let's see it.
I don't think that's really much of a niche. I think it's more of a. I think it depends more on the art, honestly. Like what's going to sell your VN is how it looks. Like that's the hard truth is VNs are sold on the art. If your art looks anime, every review site is going to cover it. If you use furry art, they're going to be like, it will depend. Like the actual content is secondary to how your VN looks. So that will be the thing. If it's what is the thing, I don't know how your art looks, but that will be what actually means. That actually makes a difference if it's really niche or not, per se. You know what I mean? Because, for example, I get a lot of people who love my game. A lot of furries are like, oh my god, your game, I love the art. And they're like, your game is not furry. And I'm like, because like people see my game, they're like, oh my god, it's furry, it must be porn. And furries see my game and they're like, oh my god, it's furry, it must be porn. And I'm like, I just wanted to draw animals in my game. I didn't want to
Yeah.
So like
Oh,
that really
hey.
makes it niche on its own.
This seems like the exact correct place to ask. Would anybody want to do another month-long game jam in July?
I will be dying because it's like the middle of July in Spain.
Last year I came up with a terrible idea of doing an advent calendar in December of a new game every day.
Wow.
And so everyone has to make the game ahead of time, and then I'll post them one a day in December. So if anyone wants to do a jam in July for Christmas in July, I had a joke. Yeah, I might try to run one of those this year. Oh, July is con season. I just haven't been to a con for so long. I'm a fool.
I was about to ask why, and then I remembered.
Haven't been in a while. I miss seeing everyone at cons. The visual novel reading room is still like the best thing I've ever done with my life.
Yeah, before the pandemic hit, I was taking my stuff to like comic conventions. I was just setting up a table. People were loving it. I was getting like hundreds of people like just playing my game.
That's so cool.
We should do the VN reading room again. I'm waiting to do the visual novel reading room again. I want to see everyone again and run the room again and have fun panels together. But
yeah,
what are your guys' home cons? Is that at your home conventions?
We do Anime Fest / Game Fest for the visual novel reading room. Although if anyone has an in at SakuraCon, I'd love to get a room set up there too. Woo!
You said it was Anime Fest?
Yes.
Where was that on at?
Oh, that's in Dallas, Texas.
Oh.
Which, if nothing else, has a highly accessible airport. So very easy to get to. And they're super nice to us. Like, they give us the room at such a discount.
So you guys, you can go there and show off your games there?
What we've done in the past year is the con provides us with a couple laptops. We all bring our own if we can and just set up like 10 or so machines around the room with this bundle of whichever games we're promoting for the year. And people just come in at any point in the day to play them. We've also in more recent years had like a little merch table set up so that if you do have games to sell or other sort of like merchandise of your visual novels, you can sell it at the table. So if someone plays your game and they like it, they can actually just buy the copy right there if they want to.
That sounds amazing.
It's a lot of fun. We've done it for a couple years now. I think I actually did a talk at VNConf about the room 2 VNConfs ago. I don't remember which year I did it.
Yeah, you did.
But
Happened.
yeah. And it's gotten better since then. It's nice. It's fun. We get to hang out. We usually run a couple panels as well, so devs can answer questions at one of the panels. And then, of course, there's a panel I run at every con I go to where we make a VN in 1 hour at the panel, and that's always a lot of fun. But yeah, if anyone wants to get involved, hit me up. Obviously, I'm not going to be running one for quite a while, it would seem, but always happy to talk to people about it.
I don't want to get involved because it's like I love going to general cons and just set up table there. But it is pretty frustrating to just have to tell everyone like, this is a reading game where you have to read. Yeah, whatever.
It's interesting actually, because the first year it was such a slog to get through it, to be like, okay, have you ever read like a choose your own adventure? But like as things go on, people already know what it is. They start looking for us. We've got regulars who come back every year who are like, I was looking for your room. I'm so glad I found you this year. And people who return day after day to be like, I tried one game yesterday. I'm here for another one today.
That's so
And
cool.
it's been great. Like these days, you don't even have to explain what a visual novel is. We just have to go, what's your genre? Here, try this one.
That's fantastic. Oh my God.
It's been so good.
I got like, last time I was in a big event, I got actually like some pretty decent numbers for a visual novel in a big event. Like they will come to me like, what is this? And I'll be like, well, yeah, it's a visual novel. And they're like, oh, like Monkey Island. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, why not? Yeah. You click, you click a little less, but yeah. And some people actually like walk out of there like, oh yeah, I really felt the Monkey Island in it. Oh my God. And I was like, yeah, I'm so glad you liked it. Oh my God.
Saki Veno, do you have like a Twitter or something you could message you more about this?
Yeah. My Twitter is Sake Visual, but I'll also say hi in the chat real quick, and so you can DM me. There you go. There goes my little hi, with no context for people who aren't listening to the audio right now.
Yeah, because I'll totally that sounds interesting because I know we usually have YumaCon usually has like a whole video game setup for indie devs. Like usually, I mean, we didn't this year because of COVID, but we usually do have something. But I know like all the years that I've gone to it, they don't usually have like something for visual novels. Maybe actually having like a little spot for actual visual novels might be really interesting.
It's nice. It's especially nice because it's sort of this out of the way room that's really quiet. And so a lot of people like going there to chill when being out at a convention floor is too much. And then it's like, hey, if you're chilling, what if you were reading at the same time? Buy my game.
One con you will love is probably Adventure X in London. I would love more cons like Adventure X in London. It was a whole narrative. It's been cancelled since 2019. It was the last one I could go to. It was the last con I went to. It's a narrative game only con with limited tickets. Where it was mostly devs, like it was very few actual people in it because it was mostly like fans of the genre of narrative games, point and clicks. There were visual novels, all sorts of narrative games.
Lots of adventure games. Yeah,
there it is.
I miss Adventure X. I remember it fondly. It needs to come back.
We've probably met then. Oh my God.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. We probably have. Were you in the visual novel room?
No, because I never tabled in it. But I was.
Okay.
if were you in the dark room? In the
No,
dark room?
I
for-
didn't have a table either. So
No, I mean the event, the dark room comedy event.
no, I wasn't. I don't think I was part of
Ah.
that. No, I came. I think I only went for one day. It was 2 days, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I went for the 2 consecutive years, but no, yeah, like
But I got to meet Hanukkah games.
yeah,
What's
me
her name?
too. Yeah,
It was like, oh my god, you are like
Yeah.
from my not my childhood.
yeah.
But you know,
Long
like
live
she
the
was.
queen! Oh my god, yeah.
She went indie like way before most people did.
Yeah.
And I remember back then, because that was when I just had started in the industry and I'd gone down a slightly more conventional route. But I was always kind of keeping an eye out for what Hanukkah games were doing, because I think the first game I came across, Cute Night, that was out on what are they called? Big Fish Games. You know, it's like the portal that was sort of like really big for casual gaming, 10 years ago or whenever. And they, like a lot of the what are they called? Time management games and, the hidden object games, they sort of emerged out of that space. But Hanukkah games was like on there, and I just remember playing Cute Night, and Cute Night was like, like completely up my street in terms of what it was doing. Does anybody else remember that game?
Yes. Oh.
Yeah.
I don't, but I have to run now because dinner is ready. I'll be back later. Love you all.
All right. See you in a bit. Wait, hang on. Does that mean you're based in the UK then?
No, I'm Spanish, but I went specifically to London every single year just to go to Adventure X.
Adventure X, yeah.
Because I love it so much.
Yeah. Well, when it's next on, let's meet up.
Yes, absolutely. See you later. Bye.
See ya. This is where I chime in. I hear Adventure X, my ears prick up. It's like, oh my god, so
it sounds like so much fun.
You know what? One of the amazing things, because for me, VNConf was like the best conference to be at for a long time. I think it's one of the most interesting, most inclusive conferences, most sort of safe feeling conferences that I've been to.
Mm.
And then when I went to Adventure X, I expected it to be a lot more like other games industry conferences. But it really wasn't. It was just so like varied in terms of the sort of people that turned up.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone was super friendly. Like it really, really friendly. It felt like VNConf, but in real life,
That sounds nice.
So yeah, I think narrative folks are some of the best folks. I do have to say so myself, and everybody here tonight. I don't know, like all nearly 100 of us are probably, like, if there was ever a real life VNConf, I reckon it would be just super nice. Like everybody just be super nice.
That would be fun. I feel like it would either be the quietest con I've ever been to or the loudest, but definitely not anywhere in between.
What's sort of a good one that you guys have like in the States?
Oh goodness.
For video games or just regular, like what type?
For like visual novels and more narrative focused games, I guess.
I don't know of any. That's one of the reasons why I'm trying to break into indie dev. It's like wanting to get to know people because I feel so isolated. Like I don't know where to go.
Because there's like anime based, like quite big anime based conferences, right?
Yeah, like there's like YumaCon, for example, is a Detroit-based anime convention, and I mean it has a very big video game presence, and there is a lot of indie devs there. For instance, it's usually how you find like indie devs, but I haven't personally. You don't really see any like actual conferences unless, and then if you Google indie dev like conventions, you get like huge conventions like PAX and like all that. That's nowhere, remotely accessible for probably most of us.
The only one I really know of that's focused on narrative games is Ludonarracon, which started like during the pandemic, so it started online. So I think Fellow Traveler runs that. I'd be interested to see if that turns into, just because their first Ludonarracon, like Steam was promoting it.
Oh,
So-
interesting.
So yeah, it ended up being like kind of a big event.
Ooh,
Um,
that sounds like fun.
Yeah, so I'd be interested
what
to
was it
see if
called?
they
All right,
Ludonaricon.
Ludonaricon.
Here, I'll
Ludo-
link that in the
Oh, in a great
All
place.
right,
Yeah,
gotta
yeah.
figure this one out.
not in the Sakai project one, but in the Zoom chat.
Cool.
That's
I
another thing that make
feel
it hard.
like-
A lot of conventions are in person completely yet. A lot of them are it's hit or miss whether they're actually going on or not too, which doesn't make it any easier.
Like, Anime Fest is the big one just because we've made it home to the visual novel reading room, and the con staff are super great about letting us loop in as much like VN content and programming as we want to their panels. So that's very nice, but it is sort of like it's almost like a smaller con within the larger con. Like there's a secret visual novel con happening concurrently.
What month are you guys? What month is that in?
September? Question mark. It was like October this year, I think.
Oh, it changes?
It's been moving around. It was this year. Apparently, it's gonna be in July. I won't be there. July
Oh, no.
seems a little early.
It changes? That's not good. UmaCon's always in the last weekend of October.
Yeah, it bumps around, but it's usually late summer.
That's not good.
Yeah.
I won't be done by then, that's for sure.
I'm just surprised that you have a whole sort of visual novel reading room over there. I mean, I've been even looking at like the biggest, well, probably the biggest game con here, EGX. I was really surprised to even find actually visual novels at this most recent one.
They're
think I've found them
so nice to us about the whole thing. I really love it. Oh goodness. I'm so sorry. Yeah, I'm trying to sort of open it up at other conventions as well, depending on who'd be interested. We gotta
I would
really
totally be down for Yuma because I think Yuma it would just naturally already integrate well since there is already an indie dev section along with like by the arcade.
Where are we at?
And UmaCon is it's a fairly decent sized convention. Usually we get around 25,000 attendees.
Yeah. Where's it located?
Detroit.
Ah, got it.
And Detroit did happen this year. It was just it was limited. The People Mover wasn't, on. There was no arcade room. There wasn't really any indie devs because there was no arcade. So because it's always like outside the arcade.
All right. Oh, I have not been to this one before. All right, I'm interested.
Yeah, it's really nice, and there's a lot of places to stay around the convention, and it's split between the Rensen and I forget what the heck they're calling Kobo Center now, but it's kind of split between the two buildings. So I feel like there's plenty of room still, and there's plenty of places to eat, plenty of places to stay, and the People Mover when it's running is very nice.
All right. I got 2 more cons from my list now. I'm so excited.
Next, I was thinking like the way that I had kind of thought about breaking into the convention scene was I remember when I attended Anime Midwest a few years ago. Nochi Studios was over there, and they're based out of Ann Arbor here in Michigan, and that's that was the first indie dev I had kind of seen. Like on the floor, they were selling their merch and promoting their game and everything, and I thought that was really cool. But I was like, well, how in the world would I break in like into a convention artist alley or or dealer's alley, and that's even more expensive usually. So this sounds like honestly the best of both worlds, having just room for visual novels.
It's nice and quiet. Oh, okay. Tom put a link in the chat. And I'm having so many memories, including the one about the stick. We didn't super plan this year very well, so our launcher was available on exactly 1 USB drive, and that was it. We've gotten better since then. There it is.
Stick.
The stick. It was the
I love that.
only thing in the room that had all of the games on it. And the
Is
only
there
way
an
to
actual
transfer.
Discord for the event? I didn't realize.
Ah, yes, there is. Are you in the Sekai Project Discord?
No, I was in the I found out about it from the Dev Talk. Dev Talk Discord.
Got it.
We have a channel for talking about VNConf
Probably.
and Dev Talk, but that is not the
Yeah.
main channel for.
Oh, is the Dev
discussion.
Talk also talking about? I should wander
Agi,
over
you are
there.
live, by the way, so you
Yeah.
might not want to have the email show for that person.
Yeah. One
Where's
second.
Dev Talk? Ta-da.
There you go.
And here's my shill. If you are not in Dev Talk, Nai has posted the link, so join us. There's channels for
Yay!
everything.
I'm
have-
gonna wander over and see what everyone's been saying now.
Yeah, we have
think I am
art
in Dev
channels,
Talk.
writing, audio, my marketing channel, off topic, tons of stuff.
That's where we found out about the conference.
Oh, there it is, the VNConf. There we go. I knew it was here somewhere. Hello, I am reading here too now.
How do we join the other one though?
I assume you'll be getting an email.
What is the email?
Mark this under miscellaneous. Save. Never been to this convention.
Oh wait, no, that's Dev Talk. I'm already part of that one. Oh no.
All right, I see a general question from Robin there about playtesting. How often do we playtest and iterate our VNs and ask for feedback with a form? That is a good question.
Oh,
Anybody else with
boy.
playtesting?
Well, you guys are figuring out your answers to that. I'll go ahead and just reiterate what I mentioned in the chat. I like to, yeah, it was a lot. I like to make a vertical slice of my game and just bring that one to conventions. So just like the most exciting part of my visual novel where I'm kind of showing off the most stuff, usually just something like really quick, like just 10-minute slice of it. Then I can just run it by literally hundreds of people over the course of hours. And you end up finding a lot of places where like you'll find pinch points where certain players will get like hung up on sections. Like I had like a small puzzle where I was like, oh, okay, this should be pretty easy to solve. Like it's not even really a puzzle. It's basically just like a little interactive element. Well, people actually had a hard time figuring it out. So I ended up making it way easier. Or even just sections where people really, really liked it and they kept going back to it. So I was like, oh, I better expand that part out and make that a little bit more integral to the whole thing. So
Would
that's
you
why.
bring a demo? Like if you actually had a demo, like would you bring the demo to it then?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just make
vertical
sure.
slice is such a good idea.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? But yeah, kind of another like nice kind of side benefit of it is when people are playing like just a really small slice and it looks interesting, people walking by will like look interested. And that's a really great time where it's like, oh, they're already like, they have the headphones on. This is going to take them like a few minutes. But if you want, I have this mailing list. Go ahead and just put your name and email on there. And I'll go ahead and send you the links for this stuff. So I ended up getting like 200 names on a mailing list at like a local comic convention, like not a huge one, just like a 1 day, like, you know, just in my local city comic convention.
That's really cool.
I find the projects I've worked on, probably depending on how gameplay heavy it is, there's either more or less play testing. But I always like, for certainly the personal projects, sort of the projects that I have been more personally involved in, if that makes sense, in driving them forward. I like for visual novels to have not so much play testers, but beta readers, that I think for those of us here who are also writing novels, you'll be familiar with that term maybe a little bit more, because I think the focus is different, right? Playtesting is about the play experience, which I think is still important, but beta readers will look for things like how they feel about the narrative beats, what emotions they're feeling where, and you can focus on a slightly different aspect of focus more on the story, I guess, over necessarily the kind of gameplay experience. But again, it depends on the game, right? Because like Paleo Pines is not a visual novel. Paleo Pines needs far more play testing than I don't know. I think I posted earlier a link to Emma, a Lady's Maid, which is exclusively choice based. Nothing else is going on there. But there is like a puzzle in there. So yeah, I needed some play testing on that element.
Yeah, it's we were mentioning Hanako games earlier, and I'm driving all the way back to that one. But I was one of the test players readers on Date Warp, and she asked a lot of really important questions, including things about the narrative, like what do you think will happen next, and what do you hope will happen next? And having questions like that in particular is good to have, especially at the beginning. So when you're starting and you've got all your characters and you've set up your plot, it's good to have readers come in and be like, what do you think's going to happen? And what do you hope is going to happen? Because especially in a visual novel, you could probably put both of those in at some point in time and let the player sort of seek out the ending that they want the most. But having some people at the front end before you really get into the story is important. I think if you can get testers all along the way, that's probably ideal.
That's really interesting what you mentioned, because the other thing I really like to ask is what questions people have in their minds. Because when you write stories, right, like there's always some questions that people want answers to as they progress, and then they get the answers, but by then they have more questions about other things. And sometimes you think, oh, this is going to be, I've put some hints there, so that's going to pique people's curiosity and they're going to have a question over it, and it just didn't land. Like people don't have that question in their mind at all. And you think, okay, I'm going to need to lay it on a little thicker than that.
Yeah. There were hints. Okay, fine, I'll just say it. Yeah, usually if I'm looking for testers, I'll do it in my Discord channel, because that's where you're going to find people who are most interested in your stuff. But occasionally I'll make my friends play who don't play visual novels at all. And they'll be like, I don't play visual novels, I don't know how to do this. And it's like, yeah, that's the point. Please break it. Find what's wrong and what doesn't make sense. I need you to break this.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm just gonna have my friends just play the game, because trying to get them to actually like look over the writing portion, like they read 3 pages and then they never went back to it. So I'm like, okay, I think maybe I'll just make them play the game. And then maybe find an actual editor.
Oh, that's so hard.
I love writing, but I can't proofread my own stuff.
Feel that. I feel that so strongly. There's a game I made over a decade ago, and I just discovered a typo in it, like, while making this presentation.
Oh no.
Genuinely terrible. It was a code typo too, so way harder to find.
I'm going to share something completely off topic and utterly personal. It has been a bloody Sorry, am I allowed to say that? You're
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
Yeah, you are.
bloody nightmare.
You can
Sorry,
say it, you can
I
say
don't do swearing. But honestly, Deliveroo, right? We ordered
Mhm.
food for the
Mhm.
family. I've got 3 kids. They're young. You know, young kids cannot wait for food. We have been
Mhm.
waiting for it to be delivered for over an hour and a half. Okay, so I was furious, and I said to my husband, "That's it. You're going to take them to McDonald's." So he had just gotten the kids in the car, and I get a notification: the ride is on the way.
Incredible.
I remember to say,
You
"Food's on
get
the
2
way."
lunches. Yay.
And he's like, "Okay." And we just got in the car, and all the kids were, shouting to the sky, going, "No, how dare you, Yo Sushi, not bring us our food." And anyway, it's on the way now, so I'm gonna have dinner soon.
Yes.
Finally.
All right. On that wonderful note of delivery, all right, it's time for the next talk. Lunch is blown by. It's amazing. So Katie is up. Leave.
Great. I'll just pull up my screen to share.
And yeah, when I see it, I'll let you know. And then